Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the 22nd Emerging Growth Conference. I'm Anna Berry, and I'll be your host today. So as always, we have an exciting list of companies in a wide range of growth sectors presenting to you today. Now, all our conferences are uploaded to the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel, so subscribe at youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Just a few notes for those attending. This is a live continuous event. It begins now and it runs until 4 p.m. Eastern time. So when we switch to the next company, you're going to see a black screen for a moment. Don't go anywhere. It's just us moving over. But if you do experience some downtime for more than a minute or two, refresh your browser and everything should work properly again. Our platform does work best on Google Chrome. So if you're watching from an Apple device, you have to hit the play button to start the session. Now, during each company's presentation, you can submit questions through the webinar module, and the presenters may attempt to address as many of these as possible at the end of their presentation. One last note, after today's event, you'll be redirected to the registration page for the next conference, so please stay on or come back at the end to reserve your spot early. Today, we have 9 companies presenting, so without further ado, I'll introduce our first. Let's welcome Winc Inc. It trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol WBEV and is one of the fastest growing at-scale beverage companies in the United States, with a very successful national portfolio of brands fueled by an omni-channel distribution network. Please welcome its CEO and co-founder, Geoffrey McFarlane, and president and co-founder, Brian Smith. So audience, submit your questions for Winc through this webinar module, and we will answer them when we can. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Anna. Great to be here.
Happy to have you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right, take it away.
Thank you. All right. Well, as Anna mentioned, we are Winc, and we are building an omni-channel portfolio of brands, really fueled by our ability to create great brands in an online platform, winc.com, where we can innovate and create new brands and products, connect directly with customers, and begin to market those products. We get great feedback from our customers on the winc.com platform, where we're able to really iterate on these products. And then once we find winners, really great products, they go into our core brand portfolio, and then we begin to market them in an omni-channel way to grow them. And on the left here, you can see our current core portfolio of brands. Summer Water is really the leading domestic premium rosé in the United States. It's our fastest growing and biggest brand today. And then we've got a great fast following group of brands, as well as an acquisition strategy to add additional brands into our portfolio. And we acquired our first portfolio of brands this year, a portfolio from Natural Merchants, which is in the organic wine space. And so if you think about what winc.com really does, or Winc as a whole really does, it's about growing an amazing portfolio of brands using the online channel, the digital channel, to really connect with consumers, market these brands, and then using the wholesale channel to scale these brands and really grow them into household name brands. And that's really what we're focused on doing. And so we'll dive deeper into each of these areas as we go through the presentation today. So with that, I'll turn it over to Brian to talk a little bit more about each of our brands in the portfolio.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, we're really the first digitally native wine company to have breakout success in wholesale. And this is a selection of the portfolio that's really driving that wholesale growth that we'll talk about. So Summer Water, Folly of the Beast, some of these mentioned. What I will note on this page is our emerging core brands. These are in the organic wine space, which is one of the largest consumer opportunities in wine with younger demographic, which of course is our target audience. So Wonderful Wine Co., Cherries and Rainbows, and Pizzolato are high growth brands that we expect to cross over into core brand status in the coming years. And again, these are in the organic wine space, which is the #1 opportunity for younger consumers seeking better for you options in every consumer category that they shop.
And so when you think about how we've built our business, it's important to look at our core portfolio of brands and how we can create compounding growth. This has made us one of the fastest growing wineries in the United States. And so, we started the online channel in 2012, really built a large base of customers where we could launch new products online. And then in 2015, we really began to launch the wholesale channel with some of the most successful brands we were seeing from feedback of customers online. We launched this wholesale channel in 2015 And then in 2016, quickly saw Whole Foods want to start to pick up our products because of the success they were seeing with the younger demographic of consumers. Over 76% of our customers are under the age of 44. And so when we launched into Whole Foods, we saw, amazing success, so much success that they wanted to pull us out nationally. So we expanded our wholesale nationally in 2017, really began scaling our brands, in earnest in 2018 and 2019. And then as you can see from this slide, what's really, amazing about the platform and the company that we've built is our ability to innovate new products online and then pull them out into the wholesale channel and scale them offline. And this creates a compounding growth effect, because what we can do is grow the brands. We're growing our current portfolio of brands, but also launching new brands into the portfolio. And you can see how that stacks on top of each other here and creates, as I mentioned, one of the fastest growing portfolio of brands in the United States.
Summer Water is our lead brand, and really the first to go through a launch and innovation in our digital channel and find true success in the wholesale channel. Today, it's the best-selling ultra-premium domestic rosé. It is our first brand that will cross the 100,000, that we believe will cross the 100,000 case mark, a key mark of success. And it's number 56 on the Wine Enthusiast Top 100 of 2020. So we're making real wines here that are scalable and that consumers love. And this has incredible sales per door. So we believe as we continue to expand our wholesale network, this will continue to scale and be a very significant franchise for us. We're starting to build off of that franchise with an extension. So we just recently launched Summer Water Bubbly. This is a product that we trialed online to find the right formulation that worked with consumers, and then launched into the wholesale channel once we had that. We just launched this in Q4 of this year. So again, building off of a national brand through an extension here that we believe can find a lot of success. Talk a little bit about our production, because it's pretty unique and really an asset in terms of the flexibility that we seek for innovation in both the DTC channel and the wholesale channel. So first, we don't own any vineyards and we don't own any wineries. We're actually asset light. So we really leverage facilities as co-packing under the guidance of our winemaking team. We've got a very talented team, as I mentioned, the Wine Enthusiast Top 100, as well as consumer ratings. But we leverage facilities as co-packers. And our winemaking team controls each step of the process. But again, we don't own any assets. Additionally, we don't own any vineyards. We work directly with grape growers and regional experts on an international basis to source raw material and wines and coach them through. And really what this gives us is the full benefit of a global supply of raw material and capacity. It allows us to be more flexible with dynamic currency changes or vineyard quality, and allows us to move very quick with on-demand bottling and delivery for both the DTC channel.
And so now we'll just talk a little bit about how we use the two channels, our omni-channel approach to really build our brand. So it starts with digital first, where we can really connect with the next generation of consumer, really connect our brands on Instagram through influencers, on YouTube, on TikTok, really drive awareness of our products with the next generation of consumers, connect with them, get feedback on our products, have direct feedback and data, proprietary data from our customers that allows us to really know how we should scale our brands. And then we've got, a huge list, over 1 million, emails and great social following for our brands and on winc.com that allows us to create evangelists and marketers of these brands before we pull them out into wholesale. And so what we do is we use the digital channel to really build awareness and create shelf velocity for our products. And then ultimately that's what's driving the growth in wholesale. And so I'll let Brian touch on that.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, as I mentioned, we're really the only digital wine company at scale to find wholesale success. And this slide talks a little bit about that. We've seen rapidly expanding doors. We continue to grow in our sort of legacy accounts like Whole Foods. but we've also expanded recent wins with some of the largest retailers in the U.S. And we believe we have line of sight to 50,000 retail locations over the coming years. Really, the KPIs for this are increased door count. So there's a large addressable market of doors and increased shelf velocity within those doors. And as we continue to grow Summer Water and our other brands and continue to build this network, it creates opportunities for our future innovations. The last thing I'd mention here is any of the on-demand growth partners that you see below, GoPuff, Prime, Drizzly, Instacart. Because we are brand builders and produce our own products, these are just additional marketing channels for our brands. So an omni-channel strategy really allows us to be wherever the consumer engages in the category. I'll talk a little bit about our innovation process because it's quite unique in the wine market. The direct connection with consumers allows us to innovate quite quickly and consistently. So the ideate phase is when we're considering raw material or packaging concepts that we think have a right to win with our consumers. When we launch them, we're launching these brands into the DTC channel. And immediately we get feedback from our consumers. We take that feedback and optimize. And really, we're looking for 1 to 2 brands that we amplify in an omni-channel fashion. So growing both in DTC and wholesale and scale a year. And you can see over the history as our core brand net revenue has continued to grow as this machine continues to work.
And it creates incredible returns on invested capital. And because, when you think about our platform, our ability to, as Brian mentioned, launch products online, test these products online, get payback on products even when they don't work, allows us to take more shots on goals than other alcohol beverage companies. And so it allows us to launch more products online, get feedback from customers, find the one product, the 1 or 2 products each year that are real winners. And then what we do is we'll take a focused approach on these products and really launch in earnest a marketing strategy, our wholesale sales team, our entire platform that we've developed to grow these core brands. And so, you can see that we've got as we mentioned earlier, the core brands that we're really focused on growing, the 5 that we have plus the 3 that are really growing into core brands. And then each year we're going to innovate new products. And you can see when we do find winners like Summer Water, we can create a 32x return on that and continue to grow it. So we've got a current core portfolio of brands that are growing very quickly. And then we've got a new innovation strategy so that we can add brands to our portfolio. And this creates a long-term durable growth strategy for our business. So now Brian will talk about some of the exciting innovations and products we're going to launch in this innovation strategy.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, these are a few products that are in our innovation pipeline that we're excited to release to our consumers and get their feedback. So we're working on a high-profile celebrity partnership, really an amplification strategy for Prosecco category, a competitive category, but a high-growth category, and we think we have a right to win. We're also launching our first non-alcoholic wine, so it's an organic non-alc wine. This is a much smaller category, but growing quite quickly and really lends itself to e-commerce. We're also working on a ready-to-drink, so we've completed the formulation for a wine cocktail brand. We believe this is a large market opportunity that's yet to go through premiumization, but also an opportunity that's quite crowded. And so we believe direct consumer trial and marketing is a real opportunity to create brand awareness and take share. And we have line of sight to expansions into other adjacent categories as well as other wine products. From an acquisition perspective, we completed our first acquisition as of May of this year. It was an organic wine company where we acquired supplier relationships with key organic suppliers on a national basis. This was strategic for many reasons. It delivered additional wholesale scale and points of distribution, so really strengthening our network. It also gave us a specialization in a category that we and others see as a huge future growth opportunity, organic, which is expected to grow significantly over the coming years, again, especially with younger consumers. And, this isn't the only opportunity out there for us in the wine space. This is a playbook that many of the larger brand aggregators have executed quite well to scale. Wine is a fragmented industry. And in that industry, you have many small or medium-sized wineries, certainly looking to sell or be acquired. And they're also looking to participate more in a more fulsome way in direct consumer. So there's a desire there. Additionally, many of the new brands in wine and adjacent categories are launching with some level of DTC. And so those brands that continue to take share over the coming years will have a DTC component. Through our conversations with founders, we believe that, Winc has the ability to become the acquirer of choice because of both its digital expertise and wholesale expertise and ability to integrate and scale brands across both channels.
And so when you think about what we're building, it really is a differentiated approach because of our omni-channel focus. When you think about how brands are going to be built from now, over the next 20 years, we really believe that you have to be where the customers are, and of course that's on screens. And so, we really have been developing this learning mindset and this understanding of how to connect with consumers online so that we then are building, some of the fastest growing brands in the offline space. And if you think about our competitors like Constellation or VWE or Duckhorn, they're really focused on brick and mortar and wholesale. And they haven't jumped to the next generation of consumer, and they're not focusing on the digital channel where they can really build and grow brands. So if you think about, you've got like competitors in other spaces, it'd be like the differentiator between Harry's razors and Gillette razors, where Harry's is really connecting with the next generation of consumers in an online digital fashion and then growing their brands offline. We're the first and only company to really do that in the alcohol beverage space at scale. And, it really gives us the sector tailwinds because, over as I mentioned, over 76% of our customers are under the age of 44. There's a massive shift going on in demographic of consumers where baby boomers are consuming less and less alcohol. And the millennials are taking over as the largest consumers of alcohol beverages and wine. And it gives us an opportunity to really connect with the next generation. In addition with that, there's been a premiumization. Wine has really moved to $10 and over as being the key area where you can really grow brands at scale. And we focus on that key price point between $15 and $20. And then lastly, the last tailwind that's really in our favor is that there's a huge shift to e-commerce. As grocery in general moves to e-commerce, customers are shopping on their screens, and it's expected to grow by over 4x in the next 5 years. And we've got an opportunity as we connect with customers digitally on screens to really grow that business. And so when you think about our business over time, in 2020, of course, with COVID, we were 87% digital. We were able to take advantage of the market where it was in 2020, shipping wines to customers' homes. By early 2021, we were growing wholesale extremely quickly, taking advantage of the world opening back up. We were 22% wholesale, and by the end of or in Q3 of 2021, we were 30% wholesale. So we really expect the business. Over 90% of alcohol is still sold in the wholesale channel. So we expect that side of the business to really grow much faster than the direct to consumer because it's just the largest part of the market. And so we really see the digital side being the side where we market and innovate on new products. And then the wholesale side is where we really scale products. And you can start to see that show up in our financials, where we saw over 107% growth in Q3 because we're building these amazing brands that customers love, continue to create great gross margins. And then, close to break even, still losing about 8% in Q3, expecting, as we continue to invest in new brands and really grow new brands, that we're able to create a long-term growth strategy. And so we'll continue to manage the business to really grow these brands that customers love. And so to really sum up, what Winc is building, we've got an amazing portfolio of highly scalable, rapidly growing brands and an omni-channel presence. We've got an ability to innovate and create new brands so that we can have a continued growth strategy over the long term, a very durable growth strategy. We're asset light, so we can focus on the consumer and building brands. We've got wholesale distribution that's really key and able to scale our brands. And we've got to focus on the younger consumer. And so we really think we've got a unique alcohol beverage platform that can really take advantage of growth over the long term. So with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, let's get into it. Peter Hanlon asks, please touch on any supply chain constraints that may be impacting ability to get the product out the door.
Yeah, it's certainly been, I think for everyone in the CPG space, a challenging 6 months. I think our team did a great job of getting out ahead of it. So we've got a strong base of inventory. We did see a little bit of Q4, basically port issues and freight issues that we missed out on some sparkling sales across the Pizzolato brand that we talked about in our emerging core brands. But overall, because of our diversified portfolio, our global sourcing, and a very dynamic team, we've seen very little overall issues because of the diversity of our portfolio. And so, we think while we'll continue to see issues in certain areas, overall, we expect our business to be in great shape and really able to take advantage of competitors. So we've seen minor issues across certain small brands or certain brands of ours, but overall, we're seeing still very strong gross margins and overall being able to take advantage of the opportunity because of our diversified portfolio.
Good to hear. From Steven Zahran, how do your distributors feel about the online sales? Doesn't this cut into their sales?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. When we launched our distribution in 2015, we certainly saw a lot of pushback from distributors. But I think as they see where the world is going and where the market's going, they really see us as a partner that can bring proprietary data and marketing that no other winery or alcohol beverage platform can bring to them. And as I mentioned, over 90% of alcohol is still sold through the wholesale channel. So we're not trying to disintermediate the wholesale channel. What we're trying to create is great brands, great products that work for the wholesalers. And so they view us as a partner, and they view the online channel as a marketing channel. Although, as I mentioned, it's taken us about 6 years to prove to them that that's a great strategy.
Okay. Lexi Stewart asks, you said you didn't own assets or vineyards, but you earlier said you make acquisitions. Can you clarify your core model?
Yeah, absolutely. So acquisitions are not of assets, but of brands and products. So like the asset that we purchased was Natural Merchants, which is a distributor in the US. So we purchased the right to sell all of those brands and work with those suppliers.
Okay. Finn S asks, do you have other non-alcoholic products or just wines?
We're in the midst of launching, as Brian mentioned, in the innovation channel, a non-alcoholic wine. We're really focused on alcohol and then alcohol alternatives, so beverages that could be a replacement to alcohol. And so Good Twin is going to be our first foray into non-alcoholic, but it's a non-alcoholic wine that would be a replacement beverage for like dry January.
Okay. Linda Williamson asks, what do you look for in order for a brand to get into your portfolio?
Brian, you want to take that?
Sure. Yeah. We're looking for a couple of things. We're looking for white space in the market, something where we can deliver a high quality, distinctive blend or raw material, and then a brand concept that's really resonant with consumers that we feel we can amplify uniquely in a uniquely digital way, and also across the shelf. I think the beauty of our model is that because we have this audience of this enviable audience of younger consumers that we're directly connected to, it gives us more shots on goal. It gives us more opportunities for innovation. And as Jeff mentioned, our customers are looking for discovery when they come to the site. So even innovations that we don't feel go to that next amplify level that we talked about for full scale and wholesale, the wines are enjoyed, and we make back our invested capital. So we've got a really unique model to be innovative, take more shots on goal, and find more brands that fit that profile.
Thank you for that answer. Alex Ramos asks, given different regulations across states, how will you continue to scale and maintain compliance given this complexity?
We've been building and shipping compliantly in the U.S. now for over 10 or for around 10 years. We work with different compliance companies and hold permits and licenses in each state. we can now ship to 45 states and over 95% of the population of the U.S. on a direct-to-consumer basis. And then, we sell through wholesale in every state in the U.S. So we now, with our brands can reach every customer in the United States. We also are beginning to export many of our top brands like Summer Water to places like Canada and Mexico. So, really building brands and we'll build these brands on a global basis over time.
Great. Thank you. Steve McClucas says, are there going to be any legal restrictions that may arise in online sales and shipments? Are there any now? And is there any way that could change in the future by government trying to gain some sort of control over this market?
I mean, the government already has a ton of control over this market. When it's written into the Constitution when they repealed prohibition. And so that is why we've got the 3-tier system in the United States where suppliers have to sell to distributors and then on to customers. And then, there was the Granholm Supreme Court case that allowed us to ship directly to consumers. So it would take, pretty large legislation on a state-by-state basis to change the laws. And really, we don't believe that everything's been moving in the direction of allowing direct-to-consumer shipments to occur. So overall, we're in a compliance space, and because we operate in an omni-channel fashion, we're really operating on both sides of the compliance spectrum, and so we're really well shielded for any changes that might occur. Great.
Oswald Campbell wants to know: are you looking at getting into the cannabis beverage market?
Not yet. We're certainly, as a federally licensed and in the alcohol space, and as a publicly traded company in the United States, we're taking a hard look at it. It's certainly going to be a large and fast growing category. And we think we've got the right connection with consumers to take advantage of it if it were to become federally legal. But right now we're focused on, we've got a fast growing portfolio of brands in the wine space, and that's where we're focused.
Great. Charles Dixon wants to know, what's your distribution model? Are you your own distributor, and how are you growing it?
Yep. So we've got, because of the 3-tier distribution in the United States, you have to work with third-party distributors to sell through the wholesale channel. As I mentioned, that's written into the Constitution. And so we work with RNDC, they're one of the largest distributors in the United States, as well as a network of some other distributors in states where RNDC doesn't operate. And so, that allows us to distribute to the 50 states. And then when we're selling direct to consumer, we do operate our own 2 warehouses and pick and pack each shipment and then use FedEx to ship to the consumer.
Great. Lacey May Pace wants to know, when you acquire a brand, do you ever exit a brand, or are these portfolio products solely long-term?
Yeah, we're really focused on the long term, but we do believe that we're building very valuable assets in each brand. Brands do trade in the alcohol beverage space quite often. And so it's certainly an opportunity for us if we ever needed to or wanted to sell a brand to another company. But the platform as a whole really benefits from really a scale begets scale. Each time we build a great brand, it means that we've got a relationship with a customer, we've got a relationship with a retailer or a liquor store or a bar or a restaurant, and that gives us an opportunity to sell one of our other brands. It really is, the more great brands that we have, the more compounding growth we can create for the business. And so we're focused on holding on to our brands for the long term. It's one of the main reasons we went public is really focusing on building this company for the long term and being able to hold on to brands and not have to sell.
Great, thank you. Rob Buckner wants to know, who's your largest competitors?
Yeah, so I think on the competitive set slide, in each category that we're focused on, we've got different competitors. So for Summer Water, its largest competitors are Miraval and Whispering Angel and Palms Rosé. For Folly of the Beast, our biggest competitor is Meiomi. So it's really, as we go into each brand or portfolio or each product within our portfolio, it's got a different group of competitive set where we really believe our products have a right to win for a certain reason. But when you think about the platform that we're building, we're competing with companies like Constellation and Vintage Wine Estates, EJ Gallo, and down the road as we expand into broader alcohol beverage categories, Diageo and the large liquor companies that are really more shelf focused, more brick and mortar focused, and we think our omni-channel approach really differentiates us.
Great. This might be our last question due to time. Tom Stanton wants to know, do you have any quality control when it comes to the owners maintaining the wineries?
So we work with many different vineyards, and our winemaking team works directly with the owners of those vineyards on purchasing the grapes. And then we take the grapes and we're making them at co-packing facilities under our full direction and control. And so that really gives us full oversight from working with the vineyard owners to make sure that we're getting quality grapes to then the co-packing facilities. And because of that, and because of our diversified supply chain, it really allows us to keep quality control, which is how we've been able to continually increase customer ratings and reviews on our key products as we continue to scale them and make them more consistent and with higher quality year over year.
Great. Well, fantastic presentation. It seems like a really great product you have there. We've got more questions for you, but we're out of time. So we're going to send these questions to you so you gentlemen can answer them on your own. Thank you so much for joining us on our conference today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks very much.
All right. Okay, everyone, stay with us as we transition to the next presenter. We'll be right back.